Headline, Starlight.
DJ
Yes, I
Star.
am today.
I mean, you only got to look good from the waist up, so.
That's the problem.
Okay, well, put yourself on mute then.
Let's who?
Put yourself on mute.
I'm on mute now.
All right. And we're gonna go ahead and get started and just jump on when you're done getting cute. So want to welcome everybody back to the Cal podcast. We got a special edition this week. For those who don't know, there's a lot going on this week. We got Cinco de Mayo. If you out celebrating that right now, if you see a white person celebrating, slap them because they voted to put up a wall around Mexico. So make sure you do that. And then on top of that, it will be Mother's Day this Sunday, and we just want to do a special episode for how can I put this? For mothers. I'm not gonna say old, older, and young, but we're just gonna say mothers all together. So I got three guests. First one you probably already recognize from one of our earlier episode, Chastity. Right now she getting cute, so give her a minute. And then we got two new ones. So the first one I'm gonna introduce is Wanisha Randall. We call her Y for short. She's out of Texas. She's a graduate of Grambling State. She got her bachelor's, her master's, her master's, another master's, and another master's. And she's a mother of two beautiful young ladies. So, Y, welcome to the Cal podcast. You muted? Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, AJ.
And then another one we got to the Cal podcast. Technically, she's affiliated by blood. She helped out a lot, which I didn't know in the background of HS, which I really didn't know, but we kind of grew a relationship, got to know a little bit more better. She's also a mother. She's also a Graham graduate, and she's also a teacher. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week to, I think all three of y'all teach, don't you? Yeah, all three of y'all teachers. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all three of y'all. But we want to welcome Sophie Brown to the Cal podcast. So welcome to the Cal podcast, Sophie.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
So with that being said, mothers, I'm gonna ask all three of y'all since y'all happen to be mothers, and I'm the only person, not a mother, on this podcast. Are they the most powerful people in the world? And any one of y'all could go first at any time.
Okay, I'm in here. I'm not cute as why you told the crowd, but take me as I am. I'm here. And to answer your question, I know mothers are the strongest beings and creatures on this earth, period. The things that we go through to carry a child, to deliver a child, and it don't stop after that. Once they get here, that's a whole nother strength that you have to pull from somewhere that you didn't even know you had. So I definitely will say, yes, it's not even without hesitation to speak and say, by far, the strongest beings.
Okay. Well, the question was powerful.
How powerful? Do I believe they're the most powerful
people in the world?
Oh, yes, my answer is not going to change.
Okay.
My answer is not going to change, besides changing strongest to powerful with.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, mothers, we are the earth. Everything comes from a woman, so that right there cannot be overlooked. I do think that, just in any type of relationship, even as a mother, you have your head in your neck, and sometimes, you can't move your head without your neck. So if you look at it from that standpoint also. So I definitely agree that we are the most powerful piece in the world.
And just to add on to what Chastity and Sophie said, I agree. You definitely have to be built differently in order to carry that type of weight. Just the things women go through, as not to mention a single mother. That's just a whole nother topic in itself, but I most definitely agree.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked that question, because I got to give kudos to a professor when I first went to EWC for a year before I transferred to Grambling. he asked us that question who are the most powerful people in the world, and everybody gave an answer. I think one person said, what's my man, Hitler, Gandhi, Martin Luther King. Somebody said Mother Teresa, all that, and then he asked one question: how did they get born?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then when he said that, all of us were like, yeah, a mother. It takes a mother to have the baby. A man can make a baby, but if a mother says, I don't want the baby, then no baby. But if she has it, booyah. So that's why I asked that question off the top of my head. So let's see. I'm gonna go with Chastity. So Chastity, when you found out you was pregnant, what was the first feeling came to your mind?
When what?
When you found out you was pregnant, you was about to be a mother, what was the first thing came to your mind?
Hmm.
You can remember.
At the time, I thought I knew everything and I thought I was ready. So I was actually kind of excited because in my mind, I had already, like had everything down packed. So I'll probably say just excited initially, unknowingly.
Annoying, okay. Why?
Oh, I was traumatized. I was living my life, my best life at that. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I about to do? I'm about to have a baby. Am I not about to have a baby? Like, I was traumatized. But once I got past that, I was cool.
And Sophie?
I think for me, it was more like, oh, okay then. I mean, I could say I was probably doing the same thing, kind of just living. And I mean, I don't know. I really didn't have one of those aha moments. I didn't have that. Okay, I'm always a person that if something happens, I'm a planner. I get to working. Like that's the first thing I started thinking about was everything that needed to be done. And I felt real blessed that God chose me at that moment to even bear a child, and prayed over myself. Actually, I started praying. That's the first thing I did. Let me take that back. I went into straight prayer, like, okay, Lord, is this right now? So yeah.
So was it? So what? Well, why I say she was traumatized? So was it like a shock? Like, yo, I'm about to be a mother. Like, was it like one of those moments where you was like, ain't no going backwards now. Is
I
in
mean,
9 months.
for me, initially, it was like when I say traumatized, I was like, like, dang, I got a child. Like, what am I about to do? Like that type. But like I said, once I got past, it's just shock. But I mean, once I got past that, I was like, okay, I just got to do what I got to do, and that's how it went. I mean, I was in like that, more like really disbelief, but at the same time, like she said, I immediately started planning. Like, okay, what's gonna happen next? What am I about to do? Like, just start getting stuff in order. You know, getting ready for it. Like, it's whether I disbelieved it or not. It was happening. So
Could you become a mother right at that moment?
yeah,
It's not once the baby is born. Some people are like, oh, well, when the baby gets here. No, right then and there, your whole lifestyle changes. I mean, I was living in Atlanta, and I mean, when I got off work Wednesdays, I was flying to Baltimore, coming back Saturday for work. And then when we came back, we were still partying Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so it was like, okay, now I have to eat differently. Now I have to care, your whole mindset kind of just instantly changes. Like right then, you don't have time to second guess yourself. You don't have time to, you think you do that, but then at that moment, it's still like, I'm a mom right now. So
So once you find out you're pregnant, you about to have a baby, 9 months. Is it like a certain trait that comes into mind? Like, because I'm assuming all y'all grew up, little cousins, little sisters, or whatever. You probably done motherly things before. So is that something that just instantly pop in, or is just something that grows over time? Either one of y'all. It
I
don't
think
matter.
it's instinct, you know.
It is.
You just okay, because you at that point you like, okay, I have to care for someone else. So it's not nothing that you grow, you know, as you're experiencing it. But initially, oh, I'm pregnant, you go straight into that motherly instinct.
I've been taking care of people's kids all my life. In fact, when I became pregnant, I was a child care behavior specialist, and I lived at that hospital with those kids from Saturday to Wednesday. I was their mother. I was their parent. So of 12 girls. So for me, and helping raising, my sister had her first son when she got pregnant at 14, had him at 15. So instantly kind of just became a mother. In fact, I was on the yard. My sister got off the Greyhound right there at Grambling. We was like, wait, you pregnant again? And she had a baby in tow. So it was like, okay, so come on. Them kids was all in Wheatley, Hunter Robb. So I was like, I had already been taking care of kids. Like, so it was, I think the instinct was already there. Cause I think as a woman, as a girl, it's there already. We have baby dolls. We are kind of groomed for this, you know? So it's there. Should
Well,
be.
that's a
Should
good one.
be.
For those who wonder why Perk and Quit on, they celebrating their Cinco de Mayo, so we gonna give them the day off. Perk told me that he was gonna get drunk, so I was like, "Go ahead, my man. I think I can handle this." I got 3 women. I know 2 will keep me in check. The other one let me do whatever, but we'll go from there. But so how have each one through your life changed ever since you has been a mother?
Oh Lord. It's like how much time we got?
Oh, we got all
Cause
the time y'all want. We recording.
Because I'm just thinking of my story. And then I'm imagining multiplying that times 2, times 3, or whatever, because it's like almost it's hard to put into words because it's just a lot of things that, the books, the aunts and the grandmas just don't tell you. And because of the fact that everybody's situation is going to be different. I was living in Ruston, and my closest family, I'll say, was about an hour and a half. So always hearing people talk about that support system and realizing a lot of people move back home, it was like, okay, I understand why. Like, hour and a half isn't far, but it's also not like somebody you can call if you just need that 10-minute breather, that little 30-minute, I just need to go run to the grocery store type of deal. So for me, I conditioned myself to, it was almost like feeling like I couldn't go anywhere because I had a child. Like in the first, I feel my son's 5, I would say probably in the first 2 years of his life, I was the like mentally, woe is me single mom. Like, girl, I got a kid, I can't go. Like, oh yes, I'm an extra athlete, but I'm getting fat, but I got a child, so I can't go to the gym. Like, and then that was honestly, in my opinion, the start of my silent depression that I went through for like a year, that I pretty much often speak out about now. So that was difficult within itself, being a single mama, not having a support system and just going through a mental breakdown and trying to stay calm, keep him calm. You're frustrated now. He's frustrated. It was crazy. And so I pretty much started this, I like to call it self-love journey of also, I guess, conditioning myself to enjoy me, because I think that was the problem. I was so used to teammates going to the club, going out, being flyed here. And it was like,
You can't wear that no more. Yeah.
Right. I needed to sit down, and I did not know what sitting down felt like. And that threw me for a like, wait, I can't wait. And I'm in here with this child who crying out, like, because I always had told him I didn't want children. I wasn't going to be a mama. Like, I was too selfish. I'm an only child. Like, I didn't want to ever have to split time, nothing with anybody. So that was about the first 2 years, my silent depression. And then when I was 29 and a half, I told myself, like, okay, sis, like, this not life. Like coming home every night, upset, frustrated, mad, sitting on the couch, just woe is me. Like, this not life. Like, you need to get up and start working on doing something. These are your circumstances, so deal with them. Make them the best. Live with them and go flourish them. I end up getting the gym membership that had childcare. I end up connecting with other mothers in the area. So I think it's about a mindset too. You just don't know what kind of roller coaster stuff you're gonna go through as a mother. Because I would have never thought, just mental head, always happy, chastity, whatever, went into something like a low state or a depressive state. But in the end, once you come out of all of that stuff, you realize like I needed to go through all of that. Like I needed all of that just to kind of be where you are currently. And because you ain't living for you no more. So I'm living for me and for a child who I'm trying to break generational curses to, 10 years from now, you're not going to have to be answering these questions as to why this happened or why I am the way I am. So that's my spiel.
And just to add on, story initially it's kind of sort of like hers, starting out student athlete, like I said, living and just enjoying life. But for me, when I had my first child, it was more so I took once I accepted it, I was more of, okay, let me focus on this child and give her everything that I never had, So it was, for me, it was just making sure I was there, for her, make sure she has a better life than what I did coming up. And actually it wasn't like no traumatizing change. I actually, liked it. It was me and her, like far away from home, and it's just we living and resting. And I mean, hey, it was just an experience to actually be on my own with my own child and just figure life out. And it was kind of tough at first, but I mean, once I got the swing of things, maybe after a year, everything was good for me. I had no, bad experience when I became a mother.
How old were you guys when you first became a mother?
I was 26.
I was 26.
Okay. So yeah, I was 28. A few more months later, I was going to be 29. I was 29 when he was born. I was 28 when I got pregnant. So I was older than most people around me. Most of my friends had little toddlers running around.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is true. Your life does change. And one thing that I just like to encourage people with, because you said, Chastity, you're no longer living for you. And I just want to challenge you to change those words a little, because
yes.
that part, it's like we cannot get wrapped up in that. That is just one piece of us. Okay. So it's like, as mothers, we often get so wrapped up in all of our responsibilities and all of our roles. But for me, being a mother, a wife, a teacher, a sister, a friend, I had to be for Sophia. I have to be me. And I know this may sound crazy. However, the last 2 to 3 years, I've been putting me first. I'm not to say that my son or my husband does not come in right there. They're real close in that first, but I had to make sure I was good. I have to be focused on me, and then I can give to others, because you will be depleted. You will be empty. And I think a lot of times people expect mothers to be those people that, like, we could just take anything. We're just gonna sacrifice it all. It's okay for us not to have. It's okay for you not to go out. It's okay for you not to go to the gym. It's like, well, because my child is good. We justify it with that. But then you're sitting there depressed. You're sitting there having anxiety. You're sitting there withdrawn from friends and life, or the opposite, overindulging in things. And I think that's the biggest part. So when when you become a mother, yes, your life changed, but I just wish that more people, would talk about that part and not try to minimize how you need to be good. That's why when I go to baby showers, I don't get the baby anything. I give the mother. I get robes, I get spa stuff. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but because I know what that's like. You know, you said you were in Ruston. I went back to Charleston, and after, due to a circumstance that had happened, my son's father, his youngest child from a previous relationship had passed away, a crib death. What day was that? That was July 5th. I had Jeremiah August 15th. So that time frame in there. So I'm back in there and I'm going through things, and he's not there. My mom is there. She left, his mom left. So I'm sitting in there and they're like, yo, the baby's heart rate is dropping. I'm like, what? You gotta cut me? You know? So all of that went into play. So then I'm like, okay, instantly I realized what it was like to be just me and this child, because now this is the only thing that completely belongs to you. You know? That is what belongs to you. So it's like, yeah, you instantly change and you go into this mode, and then you just keep going. But I wish somebody would have told me then, Sophia, be good for you,
Oh,
instead of
yes.
everybody else. So that's what I tell anybody. I'd be like, look, you make sure you are good. And if you're not, tap into positive kinetic energy around you that you can feed off of, because it's so hard for somebody to call you, Chastity, girl, I know you're sad, girl. I know, man, I'm tired too. Good. We need to be tired. You know, like, no, girl, get up. Let's go for a walk. You know? So yeah, life changes. I know I said a lot just now, but that's important for us to kind of focus on that.
Yes. No, I want to definitely respond back to that. And I did speak of, at that moment, thinking like, oh, I live for this child. I am a huge advocate for self-care. Y'all got to add my group on Facebook. It's an all women's group. This was actually part of, I like to say, my therapy after I kind of came out about my depression. I started a women's group on Facebook. It's the Fun, Fit, Fine, Fabulous Queens, where they talk about everything. But it was derived initially for women to have a safe haven. And Florida, thank you for the follow. You follow my new business. It's my business, Yanoya. It's a spiritual line with sage and
yes, all the ecliptics.
What do you say?
All the ecliptics and oils and
yes. So I am definitely all about self-care, and yes, I am number one on my list. And
Absolutely.
I believe self-care ain't selfish, honey. So if I come home and I don't want to talk to you or you or you, I'm about to let all y'all know, and y'all better give me 15 minutes. Or if I need 30, or if I need to go take a shower, or if I need to go to the grocery store, like, let me get me together, then I can get all y'all together. But if I'm not together, and yes, I wish someone would have told me that, yes, you do have this new addition, but you are number one.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have told me that. But I'm glad I went through it and learned the way I did. Let's say that.
Okay. So my next question is for y'all. Did you see yourself as a mother or a wife first?
What you mean, like before the baby, or?
No. Did you see yourself getting married before having a baby? Or did any one of y'all see yourself becoming a mother first before becoming a wife?
I thought that's why I was much older than the average woman during that time when I had Jeremiah, because that was the plan. And I had it in my head. I knew how not to get pregnant. In my mind, I was like, okay, I know how not to do this. I want to be a wife first. And because I saw that in my home, I didn't come from a single parent home. So we have marriages in our family, so whether they got divorced years later, but they had kids, they did not have kids out of wedlock. So it wasn't until my generation that started to do that.
Why, Chastity?
It was definitely going to be the marriage for me first, simply because, in religion, especially the Baptist religion, you get married, then you have your children, but, it didn't work that way with me, for me. But yeah, definitely. I would assume a woman would want to get married before having children, but that's just me.
There's some out here who really don't. But go ahead.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. I didn't want neither one. Like, for the longest, I pretty much knew I was just going to be like the auntie, like the cute auntie that just came to everybody. So, girl, you can drop off. You know, I'm good. Like, that was going to be me. So I guess that's why I didn't really necessarily know how to answer the question, because I never envisioned on being neither one of them. So
No, that's real. I mean, that was you had a plan for your life. So I
Mhm.
mean, the fact that
Absolutely.
it changed, but that's why I asked, because if you talk to, I want to say 100 women, all of them gonna say, most of them should say that I'd rather get married than have the kids, and most of them go to say what you say. Why? Because of religion. Get married, then have the kids, and everything work out. But in the times we're living in, I think they said for a Black woman, the motherhood for them start at age 17, the average. It would start between 17 to, dang, I wrote this down and I can't remember. I think it was 17 to 24. So that's why I was asking, did you see yourself getting married before you had the child? But I'm gonna hit a hard subject now because I gotta ask. So the baby daddies, did you see your child's father? Was that the one you really wanted to have a child with?
oh, child,
I
this
told
live,
you. Oh,
I'm recording. Don't say his name. We can air it out, but
as if people this live.
yeah, yes.
At the time, this is what's all crazy though. Um, and I always believe in, us being made in the image of God, because I know He got a sense of humor. Like, I know He had a sense of humor. So, with saying all that I've said, once I got with Kaylin's father, we planned Kaylin. So that's why the initial feeling was like kind of excited. Oh, because we're in love and we're gonna be together. We're gonna have this baby, this family, then we're gonna get married and like all of that. So that was kind of how that happened, in the beginning. But things don't always plan how you plan. So
No, Jesus got a sense of humor. Sophie,
Well, for me, like I said, Jeremiah wasn't a mistake. Like, I actually knew the night I got pregnant type stuff. Like, I said, wow. It wasn't it was definitely a planned thing, because of course you're doing certain acts, right? We've had conversations. I knew the type of guy he was. I knew him since he was like 12. Um, and for me, it was more like, okay, I'm in a relationship with my friend. And then after a while, like I said, I'm a planner, and I started seeing these things like, wait a minute, you still a child. What happened? Like, the mask came off, you know? And so then when the mask came off, I said, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna let you stay right where you're at. And I'm gonna stay where I am. And I'm gonna do this. If you want to step in and do what you need to do, go ahead. But I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. And that's how that rolled. So then my sons, and then you know throughout the years, it kind of was crazy, because you start to look back and you see how you make decisions in certain times in your life. Because now, even though my son was not a mistake, I look at that time in my life and saw how broken I was, and that's how that person got chose to make a child with. Now, so I didn't make good decisions in that, because of where I was at, was being broken. So
why?
I forgot what the question is. What was it?
The baby daddy, was that the
What about
person? Was that the person you was looking at?
mm, yes and no, because like I said, I was living my life, so it wasn't like I was just in multiple relationships, but it was just I wasn't ready for no child. And at that time I wasn't really that serious, but I mean, hey, I was 26, so uh no, no, but once I got pregnant, I definitely considered it.
Mm,
It was
okay.
definitely under consideration.
Okay. So, well, let me make sure I ask this question. That makes sense. Let me ask this question like this. Was abortion ever a topic between you and your baby daddy?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Not, let me be blatantly honest, not that pregnancy.
We're gonna keep it moving. So my next question is, do y'all see y'all mothers in y'all as mothers?
Oh man, just yesterday I caught myself on the phone with my mama fussing at Kaylin about the fair. Like, and it was like we had planned to take him to the fair and I had to go home first. So, anytime you make a detour in the route, and that child know they're going somewhere, it's like, where are we going? Look, like, and of course I had already communicated with going, so I'm on the phone with my mom, and he like in the back seat pouting. And before I had knew it, I'm turned around like, look, you're being ungrateful because I told you already I've been at work all day and I'm taking you to this fair. Now you can sit back there and pout and you go end up at home and not going nowhere. And so before I knew my mama, she on the phone rolling like, oh, that's funny, huh? She's like, oh no, because you would never say things like that. So yeah, I am definitely my mama's child.
And I had to, just to piggyback off of it, I definitely experienced on daily things that my mom did. And I can be on the phone with my mom. And nowadays, I guess since she a grandma, she didn't got so soft. Why you talking to her like that? I'll be like, mama, like you did us way worse than this. But for the same stuff I experienced as a child, it's in me. It's in me. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I do the same thing she did and does all day, especially when it comes to his schoolwork and kind of just being that accountability. So I didn't realize how much of that I was my mother until she was here for a couple of weeks earlier this year, and she was just sitting there reading her book, laughing and shaking her head like, oh, you got a little mini Sophie. And how does it feel to look at yourself and argue with yourself? I'm like, what? That boy ain't me. That boy don't look like me. He don't act like me. Yeah.
It's hard raising you.
It is.
It is hard raising you. And I'm raising me in a male form. So
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. And to go off of what I said about these grandparents, like, baby, keep that same energy is what I be wanting to tell. Like, you fussing at me because I'm fussing. You would have been to knock my teeth out my mouth by now, like with no warning. Like, it's funny how they have changed. Because I remember my grandma used to give me the business too. She didn't play them like, oh no, don't know. Like,
yeah,
I probably got it from her more than I did from my mama. So I'm like, these new generation grandparents, they raising monsters.
So how did y'all mothers and fathers feel when they found out they was about to be a grandparent?
My mama did the absolute most. She said, it's about time. I'm like, dang, mama. Like, because all my other siblings, they already had children. And she was just like, golly, I thought you was going to be 40. I'm like, no, I'm just 26, but I guess because everybody else had their children in their early 20s, she expected me to do the same. And I was just like, nah, like 26 is still kind of early, but it ain't as early as everybody else. So she was excited, but at the same time, I was just like, mama, I ain't, because I'm thinking the whole time I ain't married. So, but she was excited and ready. Like it was her
first. What's crazy, and I didn't tell my mother at first. And I'm gonna say this: I was in Atlanta, like I said, and DJ and Graven was in town because David Banner was doing something, and I was at work. and they had some drinks. And I was like, and I had my mother on speakerphone. I had not said anything to her yet. So I said, well, I can't drink that. You know, I can't drink that. So here come Greg talk about, man, she knocked up. Don't give her that. I'm like,
Oh, they
and I
found it
looked
all the
at the
way.
phone like this boy. My mother said, what's going on? So DJ grabbed the phone. Oh yeah, she gonna have a baby. And so it was crazy because I kept my relationships private, you know. So my family was trying to figure out like who in the world who Sophie done let who finally, like that type of, you know,
Right.
thing. And it was crazy because she's like, you didn't say nothing. So I had to step outside and, you know, get my little feelings hurt for a little bit and I had just found out, in all honesty. It just happened to be timing. It was kind of that, oh, we in town type of thing. I'm like, okay, well, I just got to work, but I'm put the kids down and I'm gonna come meet up with y'all type of thing. And it was like boom, 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 boom. And that's how I got told. In fact, that was a story told at my wedding that nobody wants to let me forget.
Oh, that's how they found out your mom now
Mhm.
found you out pregnant? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, I had to ask because my daddy, he stays on my ass, asking me when I'm going to have kids because I'm his oldest and everybody else done had kids except me. So.
Yeah, I don't know what you waiting on. You must be waiting on death or something.
They make this thing called condoms, something y'all forgot to use when y'all had y'all kids.
We didn't forget. We chose not to.
Oh,
Correct, baby. No one forgets. It's a choice that is made. Okay? It's a
well,
preference maybe for some. No one forgets.
well, I'm more conscious of what's going on in my life. So, there's that.
We are too.
Well, I mean,
Baby,
hey.
you got kids.
I am ready for Florida to have no baby. Just keep doing what you're doing, Florida.
Oh, I already said
Really ever feel like Florida's gonna ever have children. Like
but
I
when
see
I do,
Florida being a single man for like being I
it's
feel
gonna
like
happen.
I see Florida being the single man with no children forever. Like he'll probably find a 53-year-old lady around that time frame and then like get married to a really late and she already got like 4 kids from her previous 3 marriages and then they gonna live happily ever after.
But she gonna be rich though. Don't make sure you put that part in there too. Because I'm gonna thought my way
I'm
to
sorry,
some
I forgot
millions.
to speak that into the atmosphere.
Yeah,
She's gonna be real wealthy.
Well wealthy. I'm gonna thought my way into some millions. You feel me?
See what I'm saying?
I ain't in no. I'm listening. Listen, y'all say y'all wasn't in no rush. I ain't in no rush. When it happens, it happens. But when I do, oh man, I'm trying to have at least 5.
Oh, you a little late to be starting with 5.
Exactly.
Shit. What's old boy?
Noah.
What's old boy he got started at 37, but he had like 6, but they were from different women. So
yeah, we're not doing that.
After you
Please don't
have
bring
the
all them
first,
different women around.
after you have the first one, then come back and say that you want 5. Have number 1 first.
Right.
No, it's
I'm
easy
gonna
for
come
them to
back and
say
see
that.
if
It's
the
easy for them to say that though, Chastity. Oh, I'm a high 5. Oh, really?
I always
So
said
they
I was
can
gonna
say
have
that.
5. I've been having 5 since I was like little. I said I always wanted 5.
But what Sophia's saying is because you're a man, you're going to say that. You're gonna say that because you're a man.
Right. I didn't have nothing to do with that
Drop
part.
and go. Drop and go.
That's all Eve on that one. So, but last couple questions and we'll be done, ladies. For those who still wonder why Perky and Quita and on, they celebrating Cinco de Mayo. So it's just me with these 3 ladies, and we're gonna rock out. So let's have a little fun. This goes to all 3 of y'all. Breastfeeding, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Why? I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Yes. What was your favorite diaper brand?
Huggies.
I heard Huggies.
So
I honestly feel
real
like
bougie.
I went through all of them. My favorite probably like the quality of Huggies. I like the smell of Pampers, and then when you got deeper into mother and started being around, you realized that the Loves really were probably the best brand diapers. The Loves, I think.
Sophie?
I don't know. At first, I did this whole cloth thing.
How was it? I wanted to try that, but I didn't.
For me, because I had so many, like I told you, I was a planner, right? And I actually was on bed rest for a good bit of my pregnancy. So, or it's supposed to have been on bed rest. But as I was reading and just trying to figure out things, I said, okay, I'm gonna try these little cloth diapers. And it wasn't that bad because I mean, I eventually transitioned into Pampers. Luckily for me, my son was walking and out of diapers pretty earlier than most kids. So I didn't have to like try to figure things out. But I liked the diapers because I didn't have to go through, I mean, the cloth, because didn't have diaper rash, didn't have anything like that. So all I did was shake the little boo out in the little genie thing and throw the thing in the hamper and washed it like everything else.
The first time you changed your baby diaper, what was that experience like?
I never really had these horror bowel movement explosions with Caitlin. Like, thankfully, I didn't ever have those. Oh, it's coming out his diaper. It's coming out his cloth. Like, I never had those. So, I mean, once you become a mom, you know that you go have to change some diapers. So, even if you're in that like ew mindset, it's like you have to snap out of that instantly. So, I mean, and maybe because I didn't have the explosions, I'm probably biased to say that, but I mean, it was just pretty regular.
Oh, we're about to find out. Sophie, why?
I didn't have no traumatizing experience because I was changing my nieces and nephews and cousins and all of them before I had kids. So it wasn't anything. I mean, the entertaining part about it is when her dad changed her for the first time. That's funny. But for me, nah, it wasn't. It wasn't a big issue or big thing.
For me, Jeremiah was in the NICU, so I was real careful. I had to move cords and things like that. And that was the only thing that stuck in my head. Outside of that, and even once I did that the first time, the nurse was like, oh, she's a pro. I said, you don't need to change my child. I'm gonna stay right here. Y'all don't need to do anything. He's gonna be breastfed the same way, and I'm gonna change him. So it wasn't no big deal.
Oh, let me add that, like, I've spent prior to my child and during pregnancy probably a 6-7 years working in childcare. So that whole change of diaper thing just was like habitual for me by then too.
Sumo, favorite baby food?
For me or the baby?
For you. Because I know y'all all tried them. So which one you like, man, I could eat this?
That Hawaiian delight. That Hawaiian delight. Man, that Hawaiian delight is nice. It's like I could have just put it in the blender and made me a smoothie with it. That Hawaiian delight was nice. All the fruits, honestly.
I didn't like any baby food. I think I had tasted a little bit like the green beans from the Gerber baby, and it was so disgusting. Like,
oh, that's why you messed up at eating them greens.
Well, you know how you try to taste the food before you give it to I tasted it. Ain't no seasoning. No, I didn't. That was the only thing I ever tried, and I never tried baby food again.
So that's why I went with the fruit. That's why I went with the fruit to be safe.
I didn't really eat it, neither did Jeremiah. I was raised by some real country people. Jeremiah had mashed potato, like we boiled like real carrots smashed up. So, I mean, I put cereal in that bottle early.
I did too.
So all y'all did the cereal?
Man, and shout out to my friend Ty put me on, judge me if you might, But my friend put me onto that smoothie, that nighttime smoothie for the where it's like the formula, a scoop of cereal, and then like the baby food that's probably like a fruit or something mixed in there, warmed up a little bit.
Well, see, with breastfeeding, they eat so
Oh,
often, you know. So it was like, and I was like, boy, you need. I was actually working on my first master's when I was right when I had him, and I was like, you need to go to sleep. And I prayed to God is like, I don't want my baby to get stomach issues, but I scooped that ceiling out and was like, oh Lord, it's good. And he was sleeping through the night of 3 weeks. I said, thank you, Jesus. Praise you, because
yeah.
those breastfed babies, they wake up often.
Mhm.
This question I'm gonna ask off here because I think this one just real personal. But my last question for y'all: how many times have you cried just looking at your babies?
Ain't no count. I can't count. You mean when they was a baby or just in general?
Just looking at your babies. I don't care if they 15. Well, they ain't 15 yet. I know that none of y'all babies that old yet. But at any age, when they got born, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Chastity and y'all babies under 6, right?
5.
5.
And
I think it's
so
the birthdays that get me though. It's probably the birthdays that get me where you put that slideshow together with the, sweet mommy song, and you probably tried to go find the pictures from 5 years ago and pictures from when they were 1 and 2, and it's just like, oh my God, like where did my baby go? But I'll say it's probably the birthdays that get me. Other than that, I feel like you on the go so much. You don't even be sometime having time. Like, come on, let's go. Sit here. Let's go. You don't always probably get to cherish that, but I definitely would say the birthdays for sure.
And for me, it's the day I actually like became a mother. The day of birth with my first child. And then I already know I'm gonna probably cry when graduation stuff like that. But just when she was born, I even cried when my second child was born. So the birth.
I teared up a couple of days ago. Jeremiah put on his suit for school. I was like, wow, like we did this. So he's 11 in the 6th grade, and they have to wear a suit and tie every day to school. And he put it on because he was at home. And finally, the last 9 weeks, I was like, oh, I kind of gave in because teaching 45 kids all day and coming home, it was really weighing on me. And he put that suit on. I was like, look at him. So I could drop a tear quick. It'll dry up fast. Just as fast as it drop, it'll dry. But it's the point, the moment.
Well, ladies, mothers, thank y'all for getting on the Cal podcast for this special Mother's Edition. We're going to go in this order. We're going to go Chastity, Wyatt, and Sophie. If there's anything you want to say, any advice, if you want to thank your mother, drop your IGs, Facebook, anything you want to promote, this is the time to do it. Chastity, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, definitely. If we were thanking moms, I definitely have to thank my mom. My mom was a 19-year-old single mom, finished school, mechanical engineering degree. Like, she's definitely my motivation to be the mother that I am today, because she did such a phenomenal job. Advice to moms is to embrace it, enjoy it, find you a support system, make some time for you. If it's to get up earlier in the morning, if it's to take a bath for 30 minutes at night and listen, make some time for you and reach out. Like, don't feel weak or don't feel inferior to express when you need something, express when you need some help. What else we were saying at this point?
Anything, promotion, your IGs, your Facebook, if you got a business, where to go follow you at, this is your time.
Man, we got so much stuff. Okay, my IG is top notch and top notch, the letter N, classy with an I. Go follow, if you're a mom, you're a woman, go follow my Facebook group, Fun, Fit, Fine, Fabulous Queens. Gosh, my business, my spiritual holistic healing, TikTok and Instagram is life_of_Eunoia, which is EUNI. No, it's not it. It's
No, I'm about to say.
EUNOIA, Life of Eunoia, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm starting to try to get my spiritual TikTok together, so it's in the works. Go follow our 5 barbecue page, Florida.
You damn right.
Smoking
Joe's.
Smoking Joe's barbecue.
Smoking Joe's barbecue in Shreveport.
Yes, we travel between pretty much Louisiana once or twice a month. And that's that. Thank you for having me on here again anytime you need me.
Why? Same thing for you. Promote whatever you want to promote. Give your IG. If you want to give advice to mothers and say something to your mothers, go ahead.
I don't have any promotions. But I do want to shout out to my parents, especially my mom, my grandmother, on such a job well done with raising me. I feel like I've grown and become a fairly decent adult. I just want to send out just encouraging words to to parents or mothers. Just keep pushing. Like, just you can't quit. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on your kids. Just keep pushing. I like to use the acronym PUSH, pray until something happens. So just that's what keeps me, grounded, and it also is motivation to keep going for me. And that's it. I don't have no promotions, no shout outs other than my parents. And like Chastity said, thanks AJ for having me. Try to come through for you, even though this is way past my bedtime.
I know it's for all y'all. For those that don't know, these are 3 teachers, so them being up this time of night, it's probably they upgrading papers, but usually they are asleep. So Sophie, you the last one. Floor is yours.
Well, just in a closing, any advice that I would give to any parent, and specifically a mother, just keep going. You are undefeated at all obstacles that have been brought to you, and anytime you have stumbled, you've gotten up. So just remember that, feed from that, and always remember that somebody is watching you. Whether you have a daughter who's trying to be you or you have a son, we have to set the bar. And just keeping that in mind. I really don't have any shameless plug. Just follow HSENT. We're on Instagram. We're in Dallas at the Daiquiri Shops every Saturday, day parties. This Saturday, you can catch DJ KBZ in Grand Prairie, my husband, shameless plug. And then our little brother live will be in Carrollton. So, spread the word. If you're ever in Dallas and you really want just to come groove and chill, we have options. So that's the plug.
Well, once again, ladies, mothers, thank y'all for getting on. I appreciate y'all doing this. I know y'all got busy schedules, but to come through, I really appreciate that. And for those who were still wondering, Perk and Quita, looking at this time, they're probably drunk somewhere. I know Perk is. He probably somewhere doing Q stumps, throwing up the hooks. His knees gonna be hurting in the morning. He gonna need ice. And Quita, ain't no telling. She's married, so she probably living La Vida Loca or something. So with that being said, I want to give a special shout out to the mothers in my life, Grandma Florida, my auntie Florida, and then my mother Florida. Thank y'all so much for everything y'all did. And once again, this is the Cal Podcast. Like I said, we're going to get better. We're going to do better. And we want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the world. And ladies, once again, thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.
G14 classified. That's good. Shit round here, Glock got a dick round here. She get flipped, love when she lick on my ear. Pussy so tight, got grip. Please don't slip, cause it'll cost you. Prison time, putting food in my locker. Niggas lying, trying to kick it like
DJ Star.
Hello world, HSENT, you know how we do.